What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler, and welcome to a very special... I was going to say Patreon Q&A, but it's just a Q&A.
Just a Q&A.
For... Because we're sorry. And I'm going to say we. It's the royal we,
Yeah,
Shaun.
the royal we. Okay, I'll allow it. Continue.
Yeah. I feel like if I fuck up, you fuck up. Is that not how it works?
I don't want to establish that as being part of our friendship.
Because what happened yesterday was we put out a Movie Mondays episode, and hopefully my audio is okay now, but I may have accidentally fucked with some things on the microphone, and it turns out that if you put the volume up too high, it sounds like you're eating the actual equipment, and that's not very good or pleasant on the eardrums.
And so I ran a scan in the editing software to see how many times the microphone peaked over the course of the 1 hour episode, and it was about 35,000 times.
Is that good? Is that a top score?
It's above average, I would say. It's like
average is about 50.
Average ideally is none. So we fixed it as best we could, but Connor had the idea that, hey, let's give people something that they can actually fucking listen to during the week.
And some would say doing an extra show when you already do 3 shows a week is the work of a lunatic. Madness. Shaun was not that happy, but he said to me, I hate the listeners. I don't want them to have a Q&A. I said, but Shaun, I fucked up. So now you must pay the price.
It's true. I said all of those things. I will own up to that. Those are all things that came out of my mouth.
So earlier on today, I put out onto the social medias, and it was just obviously normally when we do Q&As we give everyone a few days notice, so we get like a big mass of questions. So don't worry if you didn't even see it today. It's only been out for a few hours and you're thinking, God, I'm after missing it. We'll probably have a Q&A soon enough in the next few weeks, and you can put any questions you have.
Are you planning on fucking your microphone up again?
I'm thinking of plugging it out, but so we put it out onto the social medias, and we did get quite a few responses back from very, very kind people, and we'll go through a few of them here. And I've even found that one of our patrons, Ryan Evanson, he has come in last minute, just before I clicked record. I checked Twitter, the DMs are in there, Shaun. He's dropped the DM.
My God, right time Ryan, we call him over here.
It's right time Ryan. So we're going to start off with Ryan just because it's on my screen, and you can kind of tell this is not as structured as our normal shows would be. But Shaun, he's asked it to me, but I'm also going to ask it to you. What starter Pokemon would you choose in any Pokemon game? But he has specifically said, Connor, what did you choose for Emerald? And Shaun, what would your guess be of what I chose for Emerald?
The fire type.
The fire type. At all points, the fire type.
Yeah, Connor, I can answer this question for you. Any Pokemon game, you have a fire type Pokemon as your starter, and you call him Flamo.
I do. Ever since I've been 7, it just seems like a solid option. You start off at fire. Start rocky. I know we're starting this comic book Q&A kind of thing with Pokemon questions, but let's not worry about it.
They have a manga.
Yeah, we have a manga. But yeah, I normally start off fire, call him Flamo. It's rocky for the first 3 gyms, but after that, he's an absolute demon of a chap. He's just destroying people left, right and centre, and he has to be called Flamo for no reason other than my 7-year-old brain thought that was a cool name, and now I'm too scared to change and call it a normal name. I still kind of go through a phase where I will only catch like 6 Pokemon. Like, I'm only allowed to catch 6 for the whole game.
And that's it.
And that's it, so just fill my party. So you have to choose them wisely, but mostly then just so I can give them specific names of people that I know or dislike. And the ones I dislike, maybe Shaun.
Oh no.
Maybe I throw him into a battle. Oh no, he's level 4 against a level 50. Oh, Shaun's dead. Ha ha ha. I have won again.
Great crack for the lads. Have you heard of a Pokemon Nuzlocke?
No, what's that?
It's you play Pokemon regularly. It's similar to how you play it. You can catch one Pokemon in each area. You have to catch the first one you see. You have to
Rat-a-tat.
You have to nickname it so you get more attached to it. And if they faint, they're dead forever. You have to release them.
Oh God! It's
brutal. But it means that you get this weird attachment to Pokemon that you would not otherwise care about.
I just love my Rat-a-tat. I just need him to win.
I like that. I like adding challenge to children's games that need no other challenge to them.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's a good, strong first question of just non-comic book stuff, Shaun. So we're going to have to get into proper comic book stuff. And this is from Mr. Ed Ball. And he has asked, how excited are ye for June? Shaun, he's also interested in how far along in the series are you?
Oh, okay. So I finished God Emperor of June, which I think is the 4th book, and I'm like 100 pages into Heretics of June, and it's a fucking slog. It's just really weird. I don't much care for it. I'm very excited for the movie. It looks really good. It looks to be quite faithful to the book. June.
Does that have Timothée Chalamet or Michael B. Jordan in the lead role?
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. Okay. June is one of these weird things that it's like, it's fucking bonkers. There was an early episode of this show, I think, where we looked at the Wikipedia page for June, and it just makes no sense. So I'm really excited to see just how they sum that up in like 2.5 hour films for the first book. So I'm pretty excited for the movie to come out. I hope it comes out in cinemas. I think it'd be really cool to watch it there. And I think I'm probably not going to read any more of the books because they've just gotten real bad.
Oh, okay. So you're giving up.
I think I'm giving up. The thing about it is the series spans 30,000 years.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. And I'll be honest, most of my favourite stuff happens probably within the first 40 years or so. So
it's always the way. It's always the way.
So like that other 29,960 years, it's all filler for me.
You don't want 29,000 years of filler.
No,
that's always as a storytelling premise. I feel like you've gone wrong.
You've gone wrong. So to sum it up, excited, done with the books, I think, but we'll see what happens.
Ed has a few questions here. So Ryan did as well. So I'm kind of picking and choosing between all the ones that I have here.
He's picking favourites. Sorry.
If you ask multiple questions, I'll get to you. So we're moving on to TJ, and TJ has asked if you could recast any character in the MCU, who would it be and why, Shaun?
Interesting. Okay, so I'm trying to think of.
I will say that he has said that he wants to recast Nick Fury as Kurt Russell, which I think is pretty great casting.
Pretty good. See, I like a Sam Jackson Nick Fury. Maybe that's because the comics drew him as Sam Jackson before the movies ever came out.
But he was drawn as Kurt Russell before that, though.
That's true, and kind of David Hasselhoff as well.
Yeah.
Which is why we got Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. But that's on and on. I'm trying to think of like... Because the MCU is quite good in the casting department, I would say. Like, I don't think they've really missed a step in many areas. There are actors... The way I think of it is like, there are actors who I'm like, oh, they'd be great as this role, but they've already played someone.
Yeah,
you know,
that's an interesting thing. Now, the only one I could really think of, and I think it's kind of cliche, but I would get rid of Evans and bring in Pine. But that's just replacing one handsome Chris with another handsome Chris.
It's a one-for-one swap, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You could do something mad and like bring in Tom Cruise as Tony Stark. I would like to see that.
Do you know who I'd love Tom Cruise to play though? Is Justin Hammer.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like this like anti-Tony Stark in a lot of ways. I think Tom Cruise would be very good at that. In terms of actors who like need to be recast, I would love to see Ben Kingsley play Stick in a Daredevil movie.
Oh, that is good. See, are they recasting Daredevil? Because, like, you've already got 2 perfect castings. This is actually an issue that the X-Men have ran into as well.
Yeah.
That you absolutely, like Patrick Stewart and McKellen, they're perfect. But then they got really good. They got Fassbender and McAvoy, who are also excellent.
So now you need to do that again somehow.
Yeah. And so it's a case of, I think recasting one person, it's really hard. Maybe one of the Chris's. I would replace a Chris.
Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good point. You bring in Scarlett Johansson to play that role.
She
correct?
could do whatever the role calls for. Or conversely, John Cena as Whiplash instead of Mickey Rourke.
Oh, he'd be good. He wouldn't need whips. He's so big.
He wouldn't need whips. He's so big, exactly.
Okay, so now we have a question from Russ, and one of his questions is, who was the most sympathetic comic book or film villain? Who's the most sympathetic, whose side of the argument you could actually see?
Oh, this is very good. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
I thought he was great when he was just trying to eat his wine gums, and that businessman came up. He had to feed him one, but that was just because he was angry, Shaun.
He was just an angry man. We've all been angry men.
Just let me have my gums in peace.
I'm okay. So, like, obviously, you have the likes of, I think, Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger is probably the most, like, that's one where you're like, I totally see where you're coming from. We talked about this a bit in our Falcon and Winter Soldier review series that we did. We were told that we should agree with the Flag Smashers, but I just like, I nothing about that group appealed to me. I didn't care anything about them, so that didn't work.
No.
I can see how that is like something to work towards, but it didn't work in the show for me.
I mean, there's 2 that kind of stand out to me. Weirdly, we haven't got DC. In terms of, like, in personally for me anyway, I would have said Zemo, because Zemo's whole plan is he just wants to disband the Avengers because they killed his family, and I think that's a pretty good thing to do.
Yeah.
And so I can see exactly where he's coming from. And the other one would be maybe Magneto, because he just wants to kill Nazis, and then he's like, the mutants are bad, mutants should take over because the government are bad. And then you see, like, the government create robots to destroy mutants, and he's like, didn't I fucking tell you, boys? Didn't I tell you?
But is it a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing?
Yes, that's the thing. I think Zemo's a stronger one.
Yeah, I think so. Or Anakin Skywalker.
Interesting.
From his point of view, Connor, the Jedi are evil.
Those younglings had it coming. I've said it for ages.
Name me one Star Wars fan who doesn't laugh at the slaughter of younglings.
Nobody, because they're going around little shitheads, little kids, asking annoying questions. They have to be sliced, Shaun.
They have to be sliced and or diced.
Not from my perspective. Oh, Anakin. He's good. He's good at a debate team. Fair play to him. Okay, we're going to have to get our next question up. Hang on. We have one from Rob here. If you had to create a new show, what would it be called? And also, which Marvel and Disney Plus series are you most looking forward to, other than Loki?
Oh, other than Loki? Okay. Secret Invasion, I think. I think that's going to be
good.
Off the wall mental, and I can't wait for it. That or Moon Knight for me.
I think Moon Knight is the one for me. I think Oscar Isaac playing Moon Knight, I think that's great.
Yeah, I like that that's your one you're excited for, because Moon Knight is basically Batman, but a little more insane.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
In terms of,
I like Batman.
In terms of series we'd want, then, that's a tough one. What I'd love is like a Ghost Rider series where he's like just doing stunts for most of it.
He's just doing
the first
you're
season.
thinking of evil. You're thinking of Evil Knievel, aren't you?
I might be. I might just be. But the first season, it do the Smallville thing, where like he's just a regular stunt driver up until the last episode, where he meets the devil and a bunch of shit kicks off.
Is this strictly Marvel?
No, not strictly Marvel. It can be whatever you want.
I see. It was mentioned Disney Plus series, so It's not. If it's not strictly Marvel, I mean the obvious one of if we just forget Titans exists, let's do a Nightwing series.
Oh,
and
but Titans does exist, Connor. Titans does exist,
but it doesn't.
For a lot of people, that's
head.
the de facto version of Nightwing.
Who?
This
actually,
guy.
You know what? It probably. It probably is, actually. I mean, you know what? I wouldn't do a Nightwing series. I would do a Tim Drake series.
Oh, and interesting.
I think that would be fucking great. He had his whole series run in the 90s, just as Robin. He had his own like series, and they're really good. But Tim Drake is my second favourite character in comic books behind Dick Grayson, but that's because he's like Batman, but he's also Robin. So he's like as smart as Bruce Wayne, but he's also not a complete psychopath.
Yeah,
and he's also
person.
he's like 15. And so I would like that, but also you have to run the risk of like it turning into Kim Possible, and you don't want that.
Oh, now that could be that. No, that's interesting, Connor. If we did some kind of Kim Possible live action, I think they did it already, didn't they?
Yeah, and didn't it look awful? So they pulled it.
Apparently, something like, or was that Powerpuff Girls? I don't know.
Both. I think it was both.
Wow, that's a weird common denominator.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next piece, and this is from Luke. And Luke has said, what do you find most frustrating about superhero movies? He says he dislikes that they're mostly like Rocky 3, where they fight, they get beat, and then they fight again, and then the hero wins.
That's very fair.
I think that's every hero medium, though. Like, I think that's the plot of every Power Rangers episode I've ever seen as well.
That is like the story arc. It's like, you have the climax where like it's the highest action in the movie. Then there's the black moment, and then there's the resolution. Like that's the valley you fall into.
And if it's like a series of films, like the hero ends the last one thinking he's great, or thinking he or she is great, you go into the next one, they're like, I can't be beaten. I'm pretty good. And then something happens. Oh man, I have to rethink this situation.
Yeah.
Maybe do something different. And then he overcomes it.
That's, like, and it's standard. It is a fair complaint to say, though, like, because you could just tell... and I think that's what they're doing with a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, is where you tell just ongoing stories about heroes living their lives kind of deal. What I dislike most about comic book movies, and it's not directly in like the text, but it's the way online news sources report on them. Because...
Wow, thanks.
No, Connor. I know you more than anyone will understand this, because the first 4 paragraphs of any news story about a comic book movie is fucking useless.
Filler. All filler.
Like, it's just like... You could have a thing about like, a set photo from Thor Ragnarok, and then before you even get to talking about this set photo, it's Thor was a film that came out in 2000 featuring Odin's son, and he learns over the course of it's just filler. It's word count, and it's to get it up in search rankings, and it's really unpleasant to read.
And I even putting the show together on Mondays is I edit all that out.
Yeah.
I try to get rid of that as much as possible, because we already know that. Well, maybe somebody doesn't know what happens in the first tour, but maybe between our conversation they might find out, rather than having it read to them word for word.
That's it. Like, I think you can... I get that, and like every show is someone's first show, but I think you can assume a certain amount of like existing knowledge that if someone clicks on an article about a Thor Love and Thunder set photo, they probably have some inkling of what Thor is about by this point.
They might just like looking at either Taika Waititi or Chris Hemsworth. You don't know.
Either or, whichever suits you.
Did you see the set photo where he's absolutely gigantic?
He's a monster of a man. I don't understand it.
I think he's because he's training for Hulk Hogan.
That'll do it.
And I think he's doing that straight after, so I think he's just gigantic.
He's just massive. He's like WWE size. He's 90s WWF size.
Steroids. That's all that is. So our next question is from Anna, one of our patrons, and she says, "How's little Timmy doing? Or was it Jimmy? Is he still enticing others to commit crime?"
Connor, I think this is referring to a bit that I've stricken from my memory.
You know what? This is from one of the weird news stories where I could be wrong, but is this little Timmy or Jimmy who had the Ferrari? Or am I thinking of somebody that recently we've forgotten?
No, we definitely did something recently about little Timmy who would make people commit crimes. Oh my God, it is bad that we don't remember this.
Do you know what's worse? It's like the people who tune in know this show better than we do.
Oh yeah, like
we do it, and then we just like, I finish a show and then I forget every word I've just said, even though like at the time I'm like, this is my thoughts, but then afterwards I'm like, I have no thoughts on tour.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure you could cut me together week on week in this show and my opinion would be wildly different between weeks. Like there's no consistency at all.
You said last week the Nazis were bad.
I stand by that one.
That's the one. I'm sticking with it. I would say that little Timmy or little Jimmy is probably doing very well. I can only assume.
Well, he's got a crime syndicate going by this point.
At this point, he's like Vincent D'Onofrio in Daredevil.
Exactly. Anna, if you don't mind, would you mind just like replying to that comment that you left and maybe just giving us a brief one-sentence rundown of what little Timmy was about?
of our own show.
Of our own show. I'm really sorry.
Sorry, could you just summarise what we said to you there a few weeks ago? Because we can't remember. Surely we're one half of that conversation, but honestly,
in many ways we're both halves of that conversation.
I'm getting old. I'm getting old at this stage. Okay, so our next question comes from Barry Brown on Twitter, and Barry has asked, what do you prefer, the radio or podcasting?
In terms of like listening to or doing it?
I think maybe doing it is the context.
Right. Oh, definitely podcasting. Like people, like I swear a lot on this show. I realised through the process of editing it that doesn't fly on the radio.
No,
we somehow managed to censor ourselves for 2 hours at a time back when we did the radio, and frankly, not a fan of it.
Now, I would say the radio was a lot easier to structure for me, because I used to just like, you would do 2 stories, then songs. Yeah. 2 stories, so it's like radio split into 15 minutes. So when I'm structuring a show, it helped my brain to be like, okay, we have 7 minutes on this topic, 7 minutes on another topic, we move into the next music break, then they have to run ads, then we come back and we do the whole thing again. And so for me it was a lot easier to structure. Podcasting is scary, because first thing I always say to somebody if they're trying to get involved in podcasting is find an idea. There's so many people that are just like, I'm just going to have a show. Me and my friends have like really good conversations. And really quickly you're going to find out that nobody's interested.
Yeah, you can't just ramble for an hour and a half and have that be your show.
If we rambled for an hour and a half, we would be on episode 2 and then we would quit. And that happens all the time, where people start a show and they think, oh, me and my friends have great funny conversations. And maybe you do, maybe your friends are hilarious, but you're going to have to at some stage bring in some structure. That it's a case of like, it's easier for us because we have, say, movies that we like, and then weird news is easy, you can structure that around it. The stories are the driving force. Like, we are just going along with it, rather than we're not trying to drive the narrative on the shows.
No, like, and a couple of things on that. Like, I remember when we first started the show, we would be wrecked after doing a recording because we weren't used to talking for an hour or 2 hours at a time. It's something like it's something you have to practice doing to be able to keep talking for that long. In terms
to keep your brain working. Well, I will say our brains don't normally work, but
no, not at all.
Like on minute 55 of a chat that you're like putting all your energy in, to have like a reaction to something you've said straight off. Like, it's something that I definitely had to learn to become. Like, I'm definitely still not good at it, but I've gotten slightly better at being faster to react.
I think so. And like, look, the last year as well was weird in terms of, having natural conversations.
So hard.
It's a lot easier in person. But the thing about that you said about stories, like the stories being the driving force, it's that to an extent. But like, we also there are some stories, especially in Weird News, where it can be hard to find the funny in some of them. Like, it's a mad story, but how do you give that story legs? The general way we do it is we put ourselves in the situation and we do like that kind of role play. The submarine sinking was one of the best examples of that.
And that's kind of my story that I always come back to, because I remember finishing that recording session and just being like so happy that like, I feel like that's one of the stories I can remember.
Yeah.
But that's not saying like all the rest of them. Maybe, I'm sure some of them are fucking bad, but are like, we're not funny on some days. Where some days you finish work and you're just a bit grumpy.
Yeah.
But I mean, some stories just stick out to you. So it's like that, or the wrestling raccoons, or I mean, any ghost wives or pirate ghosts.
Pirate ghosts.
Yeah,
the knife in the arse, the classic one.
The knife in the arse. But
Sharp
I think
foot.
the submarine is my favourite, just for the sole reason that we were just like, $3 billion.
Yeah.
Just imagine sitting at the kitchen table.
Coming to terms with it. So, like, I think this question kind of got away from which you prefer radio or
long-winded
podcasting.
way to answer. We like podcasting.
We like the thing we've been doing for 3 years. Big fans of that.
Big fan. Although we were doing the radio for what, like 2 years?
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're moving on to another one of our patrons, Mr. Danny McLaughlin. And he says, maybe it's just me, but I feel like Marvel wins out when it comes to live action and DC wins out when it comes to animation, especially with my faves Young Justice and Justice League Dark. Do you agree or disagree? Why or why not? And he also says, and when will Shaun finally give in and watch Young Justice? Can't tell you how nice it is to hear my last name pronounced correctly, by the way. Thank you, Danny McGrew.
Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin. See, what you did there is you gave us an opening, Danny. You gave us an opening to take the piss.
We're never going to pass that up. Mackie D himself. So now, Mackie's after coming in. What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm not going to disagree with that. I do think DC's animated back catalogue is pretty stellar. I just have to, anything you say, I just go Mask of the Phantasm, Under the Red Hood, or I mean, The Dark Knight Returns, and we're done. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't know why that is. I think in terms of the live action side of things, Marvel put all of their eggs in the Kevin Feige basket, so everything was working towards one singular vision. Whereas DC, sometimes with the films, it seems to be quite disjointed in terms of what they actually are. Reactionary, very good word for it. Whereas I think with the animation side of things, DC animation is it's the natural progression from a comic book is to, let's just make these pictures move. So I feel like a lot of the same kind of credibility, a lot of the same probably, minds behind it worked on the animations and things like that, and they brought that same comic book story ethos over to the animation side of things, whereas Marvel animation is generally marketed as, it's a kid's cartoon.
Yeah, I think Marvel have kind of gone the way of like, we're just going to have animation, but as you said, they've got Feige in charge. Feige's a very talented man. He came in at the right time, and so they're absolutely killing it. Whereas, which is strange, because in the 90s, you have animated Spider-Man and animated X-Men, and the two of them are amazing, and then you've animated Batman. So the three of them would probably be the peak of animation superheroes in the 90s. And then it moved on that DC basically kept going that route, and Marvel moved away from it. And That's fair enough. There's been some good Marvel animation in between, but we can clearly see they've gone more towards movies. And to be honest with you, it could be just as simple as that the DC have a completely different team for the animation that are probably very talented.
Yeah,
and they love comic books, and they're
all very excited about the project.
Yeah, and they also do things that they like to do, they want to do, and so they're going to do them right. Whereas, as you said, in terms of DC in cinema, they do something, it works. Fuck, we have to do that now non-stop. They're not doing it because they like it, they're just doing it because it works. It worked once, so now we have to triple down on it.
So now every film has to check that box, basically.
Yeah, basically. And so when will you watch Young Justice as well, by the way?
Oh, probably tomorrow. I don't know.
Absolutely won't. Honestly, it's so good. I just cannot figure out why you don't watch it.
I don't know. Is there an easy way to watch it online?
It's not on Disney Plus. Is it on any streaming services? Somebody help us out here.
Watchcartoononline.bz? Is that is that reputable, guys?
Kiss Cartoon? Is that good?
Look, I will purchase it on Blu-ray disc, definitely.
Okay, we have a question in here from Shaun, and he says,
hello.
Who are some of not you, who are some of your favourite lesser known heroes that you'd like to see imagined on the big screen?
Oh, Dazzler.
He says he'd love to see Demolition Man brought into Falcon and Winter Soldier, for example.
Yes, very good shout. Actually, that fits real well in that particular segment of the Marvel universe.
People who listen to this show are way smarter than us. Go on.
Oh, that's well known. No, I think Dazzler I would love to see. Dazzler is like an X-Men character. She can turn sound into light. She was created basically as a marketing opportunity for a record company. But she's gone on to have some fucking amazing stories. She was her or Dagger. One of them basically survived inside a black hole because they just kept generating light. To the point that the black hole couldn't handle it anymore.
Fuck.
Yeah, the thing is, she's very tied to the X-Men, so I don't know if we'll get her introduced before that the X-Men are introduced.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of lesser known characters, I think I've already answered this earlier on with Tim Drake. Is he lesser known? I suppose, kind of.
I suppose so. I think
mainstream wise.
Mates, yeah. Now, if you call him Tim Drake, now if you say Robin, people have an idea of what Robin is already.
But they immediately think of Dick Grayson.
Yeah, well, they immediately think of what's his name? What's his name from Batman and Robin? That would have been so funny. Oh no,
Blake. Something. That's what they
Use
think
your
of.
real name. Batman. Chris O'Donnell. That's who it is. They think of Chris O'Donnell as Robin always.
Actually, Ed had a question about that. He said, what are your thoughts on Snyder trying to use Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing Batman, making the Snyderverse a continuation of the Nolan canon? So he's trying to get Joseph Gordon-Levitt into playing Batman.
Yeah. That's really weird to me because I remember when Man of Steel came out, it was like, no, it's completely separate from the Nolan verse. Nolan went as far to say it no, Batman's the only superhero in this world. It's not connected to anything. He didn't want to start this whole universe. So it's weird that Zack Snyder's just no, I want to do this. I also am not a big fan of the fact that Zack Snyder can just say he wants to do things and then all of the news outlets just fucking jump on it and be like, could this happen? What would this mean?
I think more Blake the better. And his name gets longer every time. You should use your real name, Robin Nightwing, Starfire, Beast Boy. And he turns into whatever we need. Whatever the story needs.
The man's a chameleon, that's true.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, great actor, but that is a really bad line.
It was a weird inclusion. I feel like the studio might have made him do it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, look, I disagree. I think they just keep them separate. The Nolanverse, keep it there as it is, and let Snyder go off and do whatever he wants, and keep that separate as well. Keep it all separate. Nothing is ever connected. That's how the MCU works so well. Kieran has asked, worst and favourite character you've ever covered on Hero or Zero?
Oh, can both characters be the same person?
I think so. I think they could be. One of mine might be the Ringmaster, you know.
I am baffled by how much you love the Ringmaster.
Just because it makes me giggle every time that he's just so powerful but doesn't give a shit.
He just wants to do small scale crime and fund his own circus. Like, that's it. We all know I'm a big fan of the Orb. I love the Orb. He's a man with an orb for there's two orbs. The first was just a man with a helmet. The second one is now a god.
Upgrade. Big upgrade. Oh man, worst and best. I like the Black Condor story. I think that's real dumb, because he's the worst, but also he's the best. The Black Condor learned to fly because he grew up being raised by condors. That's his power.
And that's how it works. So don't question it. I don't know if I have like a worst character that I've ever done. Probably, like, I've done Bad Reports. The first time I did Craven the Hunter, I was exhausted, and you were fucking high as a kite.
I think that this might seem bad, but I don't know if there's any really bad characters. Like, even the bad characters we find funny, but there's Bad Reports. Like, we don't do them justice. That annoys me more. If there's a good character that I feel like I haven't done enough research on, or I may have done enough research but I didn't get across the fact of how cool this character is, then I come away and you're kind of like, yeah, he was pretty good because you're nice. And then I know myself, I'm like, I didn't get across all the cool things that this person does or like has.
Yeah. And like, it is tough because we do have time limits on these. We want to summarise it and get the information as much as we can. It can be hard to find that balance sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to our next question from Michaela, who just came in literally 5 minutes ago. And I have 3 messages that have come in the last 5 minutes while we're doing the episode. So
up to the minute reporting.
Up to the minute reporting. I'm on my phone here checking. Here's some thoughts you might have an opinion on. 1. Should WandaVision have been a film or a series? Or should there be a film based on the series? I don't think there should be a film based on the series, because I think it's like a one and done. The series is out.
I think it works better as a series, especially week on week, the way they did it.
Okay. 2 is just Chris O'Donnell's accent in the 1995 film Circle of Friends. He sounds like he always has food in his mouth. That's so weird that you mentioned Chris O'Donnell.
Oh, look, it's Circle of Friends. Was that filmed in Inistioge? Hang on.
Inistioge, for anyone who doesn't know, sounds like we've made up a word.
Not at all. No, it is filmed in Inistioge. I've been to that cafe.
Yes.
His
so
accent's
small.
I know, his accent's absolutely atrocious in it. Like, it's Wild Mountain Time levels of shit accent.
Gosh, big R.A.P. Jesus.
But his last name is O'Donnell.
O'Donnell, bye. And would you ever move to Florida?
No.
Or do other countries have their own version of Florida Man? I don't know if other countries have the same publicity as Florida Man gets. I think we've had a lot of people from a lot of different countries do some weird shit, but consistently headlines of just Florida Man does something mad are the main thing I see on a weekly basis. You might have like 1 or 2, like she mentions Manchester there in the question, but you might have like 1 Manchester Man does this, but for every 1 of them there's 10 Florida Man.
Yeah, Florida has really lax freedom of information laws. So that's why there's so many weird it's not that more weird things happen in Florida, you just there's more reporting done on them.
They just don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit. Like, in Ireland, there's often the joke of like the Kerry man is like, it's like anytime something just fucking ludicrous happens, it's like, oh, was he from Kerry, kind of a deal. Which, like, It doesn't make any sense. It's like we just picked people and singled them out for no reason.
You just pick a region and bully them. That's what I feel.
Yeah, like, but look, we can all bully Dublin.
Dublin, we're love to bully them. They're so easy to bully.
Such easy targets. How's your house prices, lads?
We on the button reporting here for our worldwide audience. Actually, speaking of worldwide, we have a question from Michelle Brown, and she says, if they ever got back to Ireland, can they meet us? They're currently listening in from Nova Scotia, Canada.
My God, Nova Scotia.
Shout out to Nova Scotia.
Shout out to all our Nova Scotians out there. Do we plan meetups or things like that? Like, is that something we could? Obviously,
I'm planning
COVID and things. Just bear that in mind.
I was planning on next Comic Con that we can go to. I was planning on getting my own conference hall, and we're going to take over it, and then we're going to invite everyone who listens to the show.
Should we actually apply for that? See, can we just get like a fucking...
I mean, do you think we'll slip in? Do you think that there'll have to be somebody on a holiday or something, and they'll just have to accept it?
Yeah, someone won't be able to make it. Like, they'll be filming fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 12 or whatever, and Pratt will drop out, and they'll just be like, lads, come here. We've
got rid of Pratt. We need the boys. Get the crew in, lads.
Get me the boys.
I suppose that would be my ideal, that we like get our own thing at Comic-Con. That's kind of...
Yeah, like if we do any meetups or anything like that, it will be, and this sounds awful, it will be like neutral ground. Like, it'll be where it's easy for everyone to get to.
We're going to Sean's house.
You can all rock up and sleep on the floor, lads.
I know where you live, and I'm willing to give out addresses just for the crack.
I wish you wouldn't. I can request that as a friend. Okay. in this circle of friends that we're in.
Yeah, okay. We would like to go to Nova Scotia, though. I think that'd be cool. We go lads on tour.
Oh yeah, lads as lads, correct.
Heroes for hire on tour. That'd be cool. Okay, so our next question is from Ryan again. He says, if you were on death row, what would your final meal choice be?
Oh, very good question. What would my final meal choice be? Probably, okay, first of all, cans.
So far he's just describing breakfast, so we're going to get into it.
And second of all...
cans of what?
Ale. Red ale.
Red ale, okay.
Red ale, yeah, I'm a traditionalist. And for, like, food then...
marriage?
Who knows?
Or just ale?
Just ale. Just ale.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. Just wanted to, you want to clean it up in case somebody comes at us, maybe with some letters or something.
Of course. And then I want like a 20-inch pizza with pepperoni, mushroom, and ham. Let's say.
Okay.
Chips on the side and some chicken dippers. Garlic sauce as well. And
just keep going.
And a key lime pie to follow it up.
I think you want as big a meal as possible, because like they can't kill you until you finish it.
Exactly, yeah. So like 400 jawbreakers.
But like the real big ones that like make your tongue bleed after like 5 minutes.
The Ed and Eddie sized ones, yeah.
Yeah, I think they'd be really good. You can't kill me, lads. Still haven't got to the centre.
I'm still licking away.
I'm still licking away, boys. Okay, so our next question, we might have to wrap this up soon because we've got through quite a lot of questions. We've already been going for 43 minutes.
By God,
shit,
lads.
Okay. What other questions do we have here? I'm scrolling. We have one. Ed had a question about Black Panther 2, but we're not going to answer that because it's going to pop up in Movie Mondays next week, Ed. So
spoilers, Ed.
I don't want to do an opinion and then we'll do it again.
And then we have to go back on our opinion, as we've already established we will do.
Controversial question. Do you think that Captain Marvel 2 being rebranded The Marvels has anything to do with Brie Larson not being liked or comments that she has made?
don't necessarily think that's what it was. I think after WandaVision, Photon is like, people are real hyped for that. So it's just easier marketing in the long run to not tie it into, this is just a Captain Marvel movie. This is all of the like the superpowered Captain Marvel related characters all together.
Yeah.
Because Ms. Marvel is in it as well.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as they just now get to use more characters. They're building them up in a Disney Plus series to bring them in. Yeah,
like the poster is going to look a lot better with that, I think. And the Graham Norton couch as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a good couch. You always got to think of a couch. You know what I mean?
The couch, lads.
Yeah. I think Brie Larson seems like a lovely lady.
Yeah, I love Brie Larson. She's great.
I think she seems really cool. Anybody who's been in Community and in Scott Pilgrim gets our vote of confidence.
All right in my book. Also, Scott Pilgrim's soundtrack came out, and with the Brie Larson version of Black Sheep. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, and I'm trying to find a final question. Ryan said it alone.
I have a question.
Go
on,
you
have a question for you.
Okay.
How's your microphone sounding?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'll be honest with you. I do not know. It could be good. It could not be good. What happens if the Sorry episode also sounds bad?
Oh, we're in this loop then of doing continual Sorry episodes.
No weird news. We're just going to have to record another Q&A tomorrow.
What am I going to title this? Is it going to be just like update we're sorry?
I think not even update. Just say we're sorry.
Oh, if only this is a YouTube video and we could do it in like black and white.
We're sorry, gone wrong. This in brackets. This one's for real.
We messed up.
We messed up bad. Okay, finally we'll finish on. There's still loads of questions, by the way. So any of them that haven't been answered, Róisín even messaged back during the show and she said, "I'll be thinking of some. So any you ask, we will just add into our next Q&A." But we have one finish. Is if you could only pick one movie, or one TV show to watch for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, very good question. TV show, I think I would pick Black Sails, because it's 4 seasons, which is fairly short, but it's like they're all good. It doesn't drop off at all. Previously, I probably would have said Game of Thrones, but then Game of Thrones ended. We all know how that went.
Well, did that go well?
Middling, I would say.
Middling, okay.
And movies then to watch like on repeat. That's a tough one, because do I want something I have to pay attention to, or something with a lot of layers? Probably something I will always watch if it's on is Shaun of the Dead.
That's so weird. I was thinking of Hot Fuzz.
Oh my god.
I was like, pick something that like is fun but you don't have to really think about. Maybe something dumb like Airplane, I was going to say. But
see, I'm nervous about that kind of comedy, because once you get once you hear that joke on a desert island 1,000 times, you're going to hate it.
You could say The Dark Knight, but I mean, then you'll get real pissed off about The Dark Knight at some stage. No matter what you choose, you're going to hate.
You can have Suicide Squad, and I'll have Batman vs Superman.
You might as well start off disliking it, because it's not going to get better.
You don't want to have something like you love, and then slowly the glow fades from it.
It's like never choose one of your favourite songs as your alarm clock on your phone, because you will grow to hate that song. That happened for a few years. I didn't listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers' Can't Stop, because that was my alarm for the whole alarm. That was my wake up alarm, and then I just associated that with sadness.
Yeah, my alarm is just chimes that get increasingly aggressive.
I have birds. Would you believe?
Birds?
Yeah,
birds. You're one of those people
weird.
that just will wake up though. I know this about you.
I just bang. Alarm goes off. Eyes open. Ready to go.
It's a slog every day. I have to set. I you can scroll through my alarms and it's like 8:45, 8:50, 8:55.
No, I think I have I get one snooze, maybe two, but after the first alarm, I'm up. Like, I don't go back up. I go back to sleep. I'm literally just staying in bed just because I can, really, at that stage. It's not a case of going back to sleep.
That's fair. And look, I'm on holidays at the minute, so I am just like having a sleep. It's real nice.
Okay, Shaun, I think we might end it there. I hope my microphone sounds okay. I hope it sounds like a warm, velvety toads.
That's true. And honestly, I think if it's shit, it'll be gas, so people won't
I think it's funnier. I think it might be funnier if it is. But yeah, I think that's it for this very weird prank gone wrong. Oh, guys, we fucked up Q&A.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's being titled.
Yeah.
This will be going out today, the day we're recording it, and then Weird News will be out tomorrow, and then Hero Zero is coming out on Friday, but that does have the microphone issues in it, just to be aware.
You'll be sick of us at that stage.
You'll be all heroes for hired out.
If you like what you heard, by the way, we do have a Patreon. You can head on over there. We've got loads of movie reviews, all that kind of stuff going on. We also have a merch store. I'm currently wearing a tank top of our Florida Man merch.
That's a choice.
It's a bold. We're trying to sell the fucking clothes, Shaun.
Oh shit! It's a great choice, Connor. One of the best.
A fashionista, if I've ever seen them.
It's like penicillin, fucking the cure for polio, and then that tank top.
Right. What list is that? What's the ranking system?
Best things to happen.
Best things to happen. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good.
Top three.
You can head on over there to get all of our merch. If you've got any of our merch, please send it in whatever social media platform you use. I just think it's cool whenever I see like people with a mug or people with a top. It's just nice to see.
Yeah, it's a nice little boost. One thing I want to get is a bunch of Heroes for Hire cushions and leave them in my parents' house. I think that would be gas.
Annoy them completely.
Actually, they have quite a lot of merch. They bought a lot of hoodies. It's really nice of them.
I think I seen your mum with like 2 hoodies and 3 mugs.
Yeah, it's class.
Yeah.
It's very always warm. Always have tea in my house.
So, Shaun, I mean, do you want to take us out, or are we just leaving it there?
I like what's there to do. This is a very relaxed one. Thanks for listening, everyone. Really appreciate it. All the stuff is in the description if you want. Thanks to all the patrons, and thank you for your patience while we sort out microphone issues. It's
thank
just
you for all the
problems.
questions.
Thank you for all the questions as well. You're all heroes. Not for hire. You guys are firmly well employed.
No.
But that's about it, Connor.
Okay, so I have been Ciara Lawler.
I've been Shaun Meehan.
I will see you tomorrow, guys.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, bye.